Number 12. Gila monster. While snakes are typically the best known venomous creatures of the reptile world, there are also a few lizard species that can cause severe distress by envenomation. One such example is the Gila monster, native to North America. It's a sluggish reptile that only grows to be about 2 feet long, meaning that it's significantly shorter than a baseball bat. It might not be large or particularly menacing, but this creature is a force to be reckoned with. In its lower jaw, the lizard has modified salivary glands that produce venom. It seeps into the victim's wound as the lizard bites down and starts chewing. The venom of the Gila monster has been characterized as being the most painful produced by any vertebrate. After being bitten, one zoologist claimed it felt like hot lava coursing through your veins. Human fatalities are very rare, but the sheer searing pain is reason enough to give the Gila monster a wide berth. Number 11. Monarch butterfly. Some butterfly species are well known for their threatening displays created by their wings as a means of intimidating predators. There are, however, a few species that also rely on poison as a defense mechanism. The monarch butterfly stores cardinalides from plants, mainly milkweed it feeds on as a caterpillar. Cardinalides are steroids that not only give the monarch a foul taste, but they may also cause cardiac arrest in species unlucky enough to ingest it. After the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, the toxins move to different areas of its body. Many of the monarch's predators tend to first target its wings. Once they taste the noxious substance present in the wings, predators might be deterred from going after the butterfly's body. Those that do tend to regret it, since the monarch keeps the most potent poison in its abdomen. Number 10. Tiger keelback. Some creatures are venomous and others are poisonous, but the tiger keelback, a snake species from East and Southeast Asia, is both. At 39 inches, the snake's only about half as long as a full-size bed. While actively going after prey, which it detects through visual or chemical cues, the snake will rely on its venomous fangs. However, these fangs are located at the back of the tiger keelback's mouth. This makes a successful strike on a large predator rather difficult. Therefore, the tiger keelback has an alternative defense mechanism. It stores toxins that it gets from eating poisonous toads and secretes them from 2 glands at the back of its neck. A rather unique aspect is that the snake appears to know that it's become poisonous. In an experiment, scientists raised hatchlings from areas abundant in poisonous toads and from areas that were toad-free. After they were fed a controlled diet of poisonous toads, the snakes from the toad-free areas started displaying their glands instead of fleeing from threats. How the snake becomes aware of its own toxicity is still unknown. Number 9. Slow loris. Primates are physically impressive creatures, and while many species are known for their intelligence, strength, agility, or climbing ability, only one is recognized as being venomous. Found throughout Southeast Asia, slow lorises secrete a type of toxin from a gland on their arms. The toxin is activated by mixing with saliva, meaning that the slow loris develops a venomous bite that acts as a deterrent to predators. These nocturnal primates will even apply the toxin to the fur of their infants as a form of protection. The secretion is related to cat allergen. There's only been a single case of human death caused by the slow loris, and it was the result of anaphylactic shock. Number 8. Coral. Often grouped in branches, mounds, or outcrops, corals are sometimes misinterpreted as undersea vegetation. However, these are actually marine invertebrate animals that live in compact colonies of many identical individual polyps. These aren't typically thought of as dangerous, but some coral species are highly toxic. The apex in that regard is represented by those from the PLATYPUS genus. They produce a highly toxic fatty acid called palytoxin. Ingesting or inhaling even small quantities is potentially deadly for humans. Since these creatures are often chosen as decorative specimens in marine aquaria, enthusiasts that handle them are most at risk. Recent reports include an aquarist that was accidentally poisoned through skin injuries and another who experienced a severe respiratory reaction. Number 7. Scolopendra centipedes. A number of centipedes from the Scolopendra genus are notable for owning powerful venom. Bites from these predatory arthropods are known to cause intense, long-lasting pain in humans. In 2014, one fatality was linked to Scolopendra gigantea, commonly known as the Amazonian giant centipede. The victim was a 4-year-old Venezuelan child who'd been attacked by a centipede hiding in an open soda can. While creating content for his channel, YouTube personality Coyote Peterson willfully sustained bites and stings from a number of creatures infamous for inducing extreme pain. Peterson ranked the excruciating, searing pain of a bite from Scolopendra heros, the giant red-headed centipede, above all others. The centipede's venom is largely a mystery since it's hard to extract in large quantities and degrades rapidly when processed. The deadly cocktail of toxins ruptures cells and also attacks the autonomic nervous system. Number 6. Spanish fly. The Spanish fly is a beautifully colored emerald green beetle from a family of insects known as blister beetles. The name is derived from the insect's defensive behavior, in which they secrete a toxic irritant called cantharidin. It's produced in much greater quantity by males and exuded as a milky fluid from their joints. The toxin is largely acquired by females through mating. Aside from blistering and irritation, cantharidin can cause bleeding and discomfort. It's extremely dangerous as it can destroy the mucous membrane in every system, thus leading to multiple organ failure and death. The toxin has been known since antiquity, when it was sold as a powder that was obtained from dried and ground beetles. It's been used in medicine and as an aphrodisiac, often due to erroneous assumptions of its efficiency. In 1954, a man was convicted of manslaughter after giving 2 women coconut-flavored candies laced with cantharidin, which were intended as aphrodisiacs. The women initially suffered from facial blistering and eventually lost their lives. Number 5. Hooded pitohui. In the early 1990s, scientists were preparing a museum collection involving the skins of the hooded pitohui, a songbird species endemic to New Guinea. Before long, they started experiencing burning and numbness while handling the birds. It was subsequently determined that the pitohui had a concentration of batrachotoxin in its tissues. The skin and feathers, particularly on the breast and belly, were the most toxic parts. The toxin was also present in the creature's muscles, heart, and liver, meaning that the bird was immune to it. The remarkable discovery made the hooded pitohui the first documented species of poisonous bird. The same toxin had previously been discovered in Colombian poison dart frogs. Further research revealed other types of batrachotoxin in the bird's skin. By weight, these are the most toxic compounds found in nature, as they're up to 250 times more powerful than strychnine. It's believed that the hooded pitohui and other poisonous pitohuis don't produce the toxin but acquire it by feeding on poisonous beetles. The function of the poison within the pitohui's biology is still a matter of debate. The most popular theories propose that it may be a defensive mechanism or a way of dealing with internal parasites. Number 4. SPUR-WINGED goose. Spur-winged geese are Africa's largest waterfowl species. It's worth mentioning that while related to geese and shelducks, these animals own enough distinct features to be categorized in their own family. The Plectropterinae, with a wingspan that's almost as wide as Shaquille O'Neal is tall, these creatures are certainly imposing. However, there's an additional aspect that contributes to their reputation. The wing spikes that give these creatures their common name, as well as their very meat, are potentially poisonous. It's not something they generate on their own, but rather a byproduct of their diet. Spur-winged geese often feed on blister beetles, which we've referenced earlier on our list. As such, they acquire cantharidin and store it in their tissues. Those that cook and consume the bird risk death, as it only takes about 10 milligrams of cantharidin to kill a human being. Number 3. Duck-billed platypus. The duck-billed platypus truly is among nature's most unusual creatures, with physical attributes that seem to defy the mammalian class. In fact, when European naturalists first examined the platypus, They believed it to be a hoax and the result of several other animals that have been sewn together. This animal has a duck's bill, a beaver tail, and otter feet. To add to its many idiosyncrasies, it uses electroreception to locate prey and is the only mammal to lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. The platypus is also venomous. Males have an ankle spur that delivers rather unique venom produced by the platypus's immune system. While strong enough to kill dogs, it isn't typically lethal to humans. That being said, the victim can become incapacitated from the extreme pain associated with envenomation. It can develop into hyperalgesia, a heightened sensitivity to pain that can last for days or even months. Number 2. Rough-skinned newt. In terms of toxic reputation, salamanders haven't really reached the same infamy that frogs, their amphibian cousins, have. Yet some salamander species rank highly among the animal kingdom's most poisonous creatures. The rough-skinned newt, found in North America, is a prominent example in that regard. As a defensive mechanism against predation, this newt species secretes potent toxins from glands in its skin. There's at least one documented human fatality that resulted from newt ingestion. This creature produces tetrodotoxin, the same dangerous neurotoxin found in pufferfish. On sodium channels, it acts like a cork to a bottle, blocking its flow to nerve receptors. What this basically means is that nerves don't receive the proper electrical signals. This in turn can result in paralysis and death by asphyxiation. Join the They Will Kill You team by rocking the latest merch from theywillkillyou.com. Order yours today to be one of the first to spread the word. Number 1. Blue dragon slug. It's rather hard to imagine the ethereal-looking blue dragon slug as a vicious and venomous creature. Even though it isn't inherently dangerous, this deep-sea dweller has a rather unique manner of defending against predators. It will feed on venomous hydrozoans, like the Portuguese man-o'-war, and harvest their nematosis. These are cells that can explode and release venomous stinging structures, similar to tiny harpoons. The blue dragon swallows the exploding cells and stores them in its finger-like extremities. Attracted by the sea slug's unusual appearance and electric blue coloring, people may become tempted to pick them up. Doing so may result in a very painful sting that can cause allergic reactions, vomiting, nausea, and rashes. Thanks for watching. Would you rather get bitten by a giant red-headed centipede or get poked with a red-hot fire iron? Let us know in the comments section below.